Oh, hello everybody. Welcome back on board the Versus. Wednesday morning. It's 10:30 more or less, and quite a balmy 17 degrees Celsius, can you believe? Much warmer than that when not on the bike. And we're just heading out for a bit of a walk in the mountains around Dolwyddelan today. And see what we can see around there. Hopefully the temperatures will be a little bit cooler, although there's not an awful lot of wind, so perhaps not. So let's get going. I'll catch you when you're a little bit closer to the action. Alright, so the action begins as usual on the Britannia Bridge. Some lights on to make them wake up. There we go, that's the A55 done for a few hours. It's slow going with a 14-mile-an-hour limit. Silly season for roadworks now, of course. Happy friends on holiday, I guess. Yeah, a little bit too late for the overtake there. So I'll just do the little twister here at the lodge and then make our way through Ogwen. I should imagine my visor's going to end up pretty mucky today. I've got some wipes in the back though. There's always somebody turning up there. It's remarkable really, there's not many people who live up there. Yeah, there's a risk there. That bus was well out into the opposing carriageway there. Or the opposing lane. Well out, and a bit of tyre there as well, which is really dangerous. Take you off your bike very easily if you hit those tyre remnants. Good grief, these people are slow coming through here. There we go, happy. It's only midweek, but plenty of people about. Here we are, we could have an overtake coming up here now. Look out behind and in front. Off we go. There we go, gets us ahead a little bit. The cause of our angst is the silver car in front. Right, let's get past you quickly before he decides. Good grief, that's quite bad driving. Right, so having had a very slow transit through the mountains and on to Betws Accoyd, we're on the Betws Accoyd to Blaenau Road. A little bit quicker now. Glorious day. A little bit of wind around from time to time on the mountains, but it'll be fine for getting the drone up. Not too far from the destination now. We're about 10 miles from Blaenau Ffestiniog at this point, which means we're about 7 or 8 miles from where we turn off at Pont Rufeinig, or Roman Bridge. It's not actually a Roman bridge as far as anybody can tell. It just sort of kind of looks like one, although I'm pretty sure that the Romans would have passed through there in their time. It's rather peculiar for having a railway station in the middle of nowhere, really, serving just sort of a few farms, and kind of convenient though. Very pretty route, the Blaenau Ffestiniog to Llandudno Junction along the Conwy Valley. It's very picturesque, worth doing. Pretty slow, but yeah, worth doing. Well, there we are. Not that common a sight of fully sunny and not cloudy and rainy Dolwydd Elan and Blaenau Ffestiniog area. There's Dolwydd Elan Castle just ahead of us now. Seen that many times on the video, of course, although not that often in such glorious weather, perhaps. We're just about a mile away from our turn-off, and a really bizarre twist of fate here is that the local garage where I take my cars to be maintained, a small village on Anglesey, is the owner's wife. Her family comes from a farm just at the base of the Crimea here, Gordinan. Name of the Crimea in Welsh is Bwlch y Gordinan. Well, that's kind of peculiar that we should find that twist of fate. Very convenient, of course, if I'm a bit stuck for somewhere to park, although I don't think I will be. I wouldn't want to impose, but yeah, that's how it goes around here. You sort of build up your networks of people that you know, and people who can help you out if you get into a bit of bother, or need some parking space, or just a cup of tea or something like that, you know. It all works out nicely. With the added benefit that if you speak Welsh, of course, it's the passport to much kinder treatment. And quite right too, of course. This is an old sidings or crossing area, I'm not sure what it used to be. The railway station for Pont Rufeinig. This is full gauge main line. Believe it or not, they ran the HST as a special service along here many years ago now. Looking at a photograph of it emerging from the tunnel at Blaenau Ffestiniog just a few days ago. Somebody had put it up on Facebook. Everybody thought it was a made up photo, but no, it wasn't. But, yeah, I've got to carry on. I've been put off from going through the farm just ahead of us because I thought the track kind of came to an end there, but it doesn't. It just goes through the farm, as a lot of very old tracks do, of course. With a little bridge. This is the Roman Bridge, so called. sure there's no gravel or rocks and stuff. Alright, I'll put the visor up in a minute, it's getting quite warm. There we go. So this is your typical North Wales farm track. You can see how we'd be put off going through here, can't you? But it is actually a public road. Look out for gravel. There we go. Hopefully we don't get a sheepdog chasing after us, because that's really off-putting. There you go, you see gravel. Here's another farm, a nice stone, traditional stone outbuilding. Not an awful lot of those left now, sadly. So eventually we're going to come to a gate where there should be a place to park. So here we go, we're going to be parking up the bike dead ahead here, I think. Let's see, this will do, won't it? Give some room for swing space there, although it's a forest track or something, I don't know. There won't be any problem. Bike pointing more south than not, it's a long way down. Hey, ooh, is it a little bit longer down than we should have? Keep hold of the handlebars for a minute. Get on centre stand, and then we'll be happy. There we go. Oh, here we go. I forgot my microphone again, but never mind. And this sort of multi-purpose track is both a track and a riverbed in winter at least. And you do a bit of climbing. And here's some bangs in the background. There's a pyrotechnics on the railway. They must be working on the railway, so they have these little detonators that go off when a train passes over them to warn the workers. Yeah, some interesting geology here. Apart from the detonators, very quiet. Yeah, that's a good one. Memento Mori. Oof. Well, it's not very particularly sunny, although it's clearing. As you can see, the sun is burning the cloud out. But it's jolly warm. It's very humid. The landscape that's going down the Conwy Valley. It's coming up. You can see, well, in the distance you probably can't see the Crimea Pass goes all the way up there, and Moel Pen Amnen, the mountain over there, and over on this side we've got Moel Shabod, and along that ridge there, quite a nice, not very difficult scramble up there. I've done it, so if I can do it, anybody can. And yeah, it's a jolly nice walk. Usually quite a long walk. I have to start from Capel Curig usually. Trying to get there from this side is pretty rough. There's lots of old forests half cut down and what have you. And you can see it's quite wet here. We do get, of course, springs which are running throughout the year, but you can see the soil in between the stones here is damp as well. There's been quite a lot of rain recently. We've had good 3 months of very dry weather, record-breaking dry weather, but it's gone back. The reservoirs locally are coming over the top of the dams again, although in mid Wales they're much drier apparently. But yeah, it's going to be warm for the next 2 or 3 days, but it's going to cool down pretty quick, and I think we might go back to sort of Atlantic showery weather. But anyway, we've got a lovely, quite large sheepfold dead ahead. We'll launch the drone when we get a little bit closer. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. Try and protect the camera from the wind. There's a dam just in front of us here. An old dam, it's just a wall really. Been breached now, of course, and then that whole section, the valley going up there, would have been a reservoir. Well, we really have to make some progress now. I got somebody ahead who seems a little bit lost possibly. But anyway, we're going across the slope now. That's the way we came. Now we're going to go across slope, hopefully get to the lakes much further than I anticipated, but plenty of daylight. Right, we're in the worst sort of terrain now, tussocky grass, which we've got to do to avoid boggy ground down the bottom. And we're just going to go along a slightly higher ground here. A cluster of foxgloves all on their own over there. It's kind of peculiar. Yeah, it's certainly boggy here. We'll have to go up and around this one. If there's one thing worse than tussocky grass like this, it's tussocky grass like this covered in snow. Oh dear, that is a very painful experience should you have it. Anyway, we've got to the top of these little outcrops. We'll have a look at the rocks, see if there's any interesting features, and make our way along the top, and we'll break out and have a view of the lakes hopefully. And from amongst the bilberries, the lake. How about that? How about that? And a nice stone wall over there, so there's a fair bet that we can get across somewhere over there down the bottom. Not sure where the person who was lost has gone. Anyway. Right, well, getting over this is not too difficult. Little opening in the dam wall. Keep the water level down, I guess. And this is the earth and stone dam, obviously. I'm pretty whacked now. Time for some more nuts. Oh yeah, well, getting across here is easy as well. There you go. Some kind of valve here. There you go. The all starts. Oh, I wonder what that is. Trout. Looks like a trout. Quite small. Hey, at least there's fish here. Oh dear. So just making our way along the end of the lake here. A pleasant little mini walk and a little bit of a beach down here. Oh, a little inlet. I shall go down and have a look. The trees have been blasted by the wind coming down the valley. Pretty barren valley. There's not a lot other than grass here. No buildings of note. Not even sheep. Well, there's a sheepfold on my right here in the trees as it used to be. So I guess that was the main one for the area. But nothing further up. if you're going to make a fire, make it carefully, because you've got lots of very dry tinder behind you. Preferably don't make a fire at all. If you come in here, don't leave any rubbish. Although fair play, there's no rubbish here. And that's because you have to make a bit of effort to get here, so the idiots who dump their rubbish everywhere don't seem to come here, and that's a good thing. Not a single bit of rubbish. Let's help keep it that way, eh? It's always a bit of a moral quandary as to whether I keep the camera rolling for places like this, because obviously it's the kind of place where people like to come. You are welcome, but just come here with respect, that's all. Look at that tree. Quite a spread of roots. Right, we shall make our way onto the forest track and hopefully have a much easier time of it. My feet are jolly tired now. An old Havod fireplace, a very nice fireplace lintel actually. There you go, the inevitable dismantling of rocks and things, which we'd rather you didn't do, please. Leaving rubbish here, some bottles, but not too bad in the grand scheme of things. Wow, not sure about the inscriptions, they're probably modern by the looks of them. Yeah, that's quite ornate, carved out of stone. It could have been a boathouse, I guess, with a door that wide as well. A little sort of lakeside hut where you kept warm as well. Anyway, here's our path up to the track, and a jolly good job too. Well, the next visit will have to come at night, I think. It should be very nice. I'm sure my son would like to come and have a respectful camp here. Leave no trace. And now, thanks to this man-made forest, a complete change of scenery. A bit cooler. Oof, being bothered by flies. I've got the gene that attracts flies, I'm afraid. You know, from now on, mid-June onwards, I'll have to start using jungle spray to keep the damned horse flies off me. And they come in hordes, and their bites sure do itch. Yeah, great rings on the old cut trees. Let's have a look. I guesstimate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. About 43 years old, that one. That's really quite old, because the felling cycle is usually much shorter than that. It's about the order of 25 years or so. That was quite an old one. So there we go. We're safely on the other side of the river. I came across more or less nearly the top of the middle ground here, and then crossed over a small bunch of trees there, and now we're out in the open. And jolly nice it is too. I didn't intend this to be a circular walk at all, but it's worked out nicely actually, given that that section over there was quite hard going. I'm quite happy not to have to redo it. Oh, let's put the camera up there. I'm not terribly good at these vlogging things. Well, I hope you enjoyed the little walk, especially since I've never been here before. And I've got about, I'd guess, about 3 kilometres or so to walk now. So I'll give the old camera a bit of a rest as I'm attacked by loads of flies. Thankfully none of them are biting. so we'll see you down by the bike if we don't see anything a bit more interesting. I doubt if we will, because it's just forest now. See you in a bit. Right, well, I'm taking a chance on coming off the main forest track and going down towards a river along this one, little branch, side branch. Here comes a message. I'm very excited about booking a trip to Eryri, which would be jolly nice. Continuing the Northern Ireland theme of this year. Yeah, so I'm going to carry on here, and there should be a bridge across. A little bit of luck, I shall short circuit the endless chicanes that the main track takes. Hopefully this won't end up being a wild goose chase and ending up in knee deep heather and stuff. Let's hope so. Ooh, found ourselves a little weir. Yeah, that's nice. There's no bridge though. Getting across there is going to be pretty tricky. Yeah. Yeah, well, I have walked across a weir, but I had wellies. There's a little wall over there possibly. Anyway, we'll sort something out. Nice place to go for a swim there, actually. This is the river that comes from the dam we saw earlier. Just like magic, we're on the other side. Thanks for those little layers there, sticking out in sequence. Right, I'm very tempted to go for a swim. Stay away from the little outlet on that side. We should be fine. Oh yes, very nice. Very nice indeed. Let's take a look over the edge, shall we? Oh, that was a nice wild swim. Oh, just negotiate coming down that little cliff there. Luckily there was a little way to come sideways. Oh, dear me. There's some lovely scenery, so we're going to cut across here. There's actually, we're picking up the original path. There's a post just ahead. So with a little bit of luck, we'll have a fairly easy way back. Oh, feel a lot better, a lot cooler after that swim, that's for sure. Well, that was pretty quick. Just come along the slope, and we're back on the track we started on. Except it's quite a lot sunnier now. Oh, where are we? 3:45. Nice late afternoon summer sunshine. Oh, been a great walk. Hope you found it interesting. It's a long time since I had a wild swim. So I shall start back on that in earnest this summer. So we've got about, I don't know, maybe a kilometre or something like that till I get to the bike, and then we'll start on the journey home and have a good tea and a beer tonight, I think. And there we are. Clunk. That was our walk for today. That's one of the nicest I've had in a long while. In fact, I haven't been out on a big walk for a month. So it was needed. I'll make our merry way back along the gravel track. Well, I think this is probably my favouriteest walk of all. Not the greatest place to come with a big motorbike, but it's perfectly doable. Perfectly doable. So there we are, that's the Roman Bridge Road finished with. Back onto the bottom of Crimea. Clear that way, yep. Oil Shabod looking wondrous. Right, get some proper progress made, shall we? Nice 60-mile-an-hour corner. Right, we'll head on down the Conwy Valley towards Betws-y-Coed. Seems to be fairly clear of traffic at the moment, which is quite unusual. Hello, the ever-present. There you go, you see. Unpredictable. Yeah, had a good pace on. Sensible though. Good road for a bike, this. Tonking along at just over 50, which is fine for me, I'm not in any hurry. Going up to 60 now. Always keep an eye out for what's in that corner. It's not too bad for an old stodgy bloke like me, is it? Pretty quick. You can get from Blaenefestiniog to this side of Anglesey, the closer side of Anglesey, in about 40 minutes without pushing it too much. Of course, we're out for pleasure, not for commuting. Those days are all over. Nice smell of burning wood there. And here we go, underneath the Conwy Valley Railway, once more. I'm sure a lot of you will recognise this route. I do it very often, of course. I like to come here. It's a bit like being on holiday, really, without having to spend any more than a few quid on petrol. House of William Morgan, who translated the Bible into Welsh, is just in front of us and up in the trees up here. Quite a nice place. Tŷ Mawr Wibernant it's called. Not as open as it used to be. It's National Trust owned now. And as it happens, one of the first edition translated Bibles is in St David's, Tydewi, on display for the next 3 weeks. First time it's ever come back to Wales. Kept in Westminster Abbey usually. So, I've been toying with the idea of heading down there to have a look at it. Quite a long way to go and have a look at a book. And I suppose it's less than having to go all the way to Westminster Abbey to look at it. Probably cheaper as well. So we'll see. Be quite a nice trip actually, if the weather stays up. Oh dear, there we are, some nice shadows from the monkey puzzle on the house there. Here we are, back into Betws-y-Coed, which will be very busy with motorbikes across the summer. Popular venue, especially on a Sunday, but most days of the week really. Cross over the Avon Conwy here. Over Waterloo Bridge. Past the area's most expensive petrol station. Getting into the right lane would be good, wouldn't it? What on earth is this bloke doing? What do you do, eh? What do you do? .41 with latitude. Well, there we are. You know the routine by now. We get to the Ogwen Valley and that's pretty much it. If you can, please subscribe and like this video. It makes all the difference. Help encourage me to make some more content as I go about my business. And hope you enjoy the little walk today. It's out for about 4 hours altogether, I think, more or less. We're taking it easy and a nice little swim at the end, so perfect day out, really. So the usual conditions apply unless I get some filtering at the end, which is always very popular towards Britannia Bridge. Then that's pretty much it for this one, folks. Thanks for watching. Ride safe.